Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's inspiration. Today's inspiration is a really exciting topic. I am really excited to see what we all come together with. We are exploring today procrastination, and the other side of procrastination is inspiration. So really shifting from procrastination to inspiration. And I'm really gonna enjoy the conversations. I think we all are, speaking the first person, but hopefully we all collectively enjoy. There are so many limitations on time, limitations on life, our limiting beliefs and thoughts on time, limiting thoughts and beliefs on ourselves, limiting thoughts and beliefs on our freedom, limiting thoughts and beliefs on our worthiness, on our happiness. And it will be really fun to detangle from a lot of our conditioning on time and on ourselves, and ultimately in getting into inspiration. Carolina, hello, hello, hello. Caroline. Is it Caroline, right? Is it Caroline? You taught me before. Carolina, like North Carolina, Carolina. Tell me if I'm right. Carolina. Welcome to you. Yes? Carolina. Am I right with that? Carolina. Jessica, first time. Welcome, Jessica, to your first time. I used to say I thrive on procrastination and stress and I need to change. Fantastic. That's a fantastic awareness. And I can say I'm actually a recovering person on thriving on procrastination and stress. And still to this day, where I am more inclined to be inspired, I do find that there is still a relationship between time becoming more finite and me finding inspiration, but there's less stress associated with it. But the more I'm getting aligned, the more that I find that my inspiration comes with more of a buffer in time, so that level of stress and anxiety that used to be something I was addicted to too, Jessica, has evolved into being more mild and more mild and more mild. So I can understand fully with you. And I really, again, you said it's your first time. You'll catch up with a lot of the lingo because there's like a lot of regulars coming in. I see Tracy here and Carolina. I don't know, I'm going to have trouble. Carolina, just keep with me until I get you. I'm not a procrastinator, but surrounded by some. So my learning is understanding people's timing. Oh my, that's a fantastic concept, because I actually didn't even consider honoring the way that we all operate. And if somebody, I know sometimes I could be really, really chill to a place where it will impact others, and actually being able to honor each other and not taking a sense of responsibility because you want to achieve and others might want to do it in a slower pace, that you can still stay in alignment. So I think that's a fantastic awareness. Fantastic. And Tracy goes on, yes, my fiance is a procrastinator and it makes me so tired. I didn't realize at first, but it's very difficult to live with. Fantastic. And what we want to do is shift that you can allow, by internalizing and being grounded with our internal, that whatever's going on externally, no matter how intimate the relationship, we can honor and allow. And then we start to communicate, engage in ways where we can meet each other to ultimately be an inspiration and alignment. So Tracy, this will be a good one, and Carolina as well, for your relationships. And I love this. I love how we're actually considering the impact, because you're right. There's some people that are so there was an email that went out wanting to get pre-organized months in advance for an event. And I was like, whoa, I am not ready for this. I am not ready. Although I do like scheduling, I like do things like that. it actually felt like a huge weight on my shoulders rather than liberation, planning something exciting, because it was too pre-calculated. And although it wasn't, that's not really procrastination, but it is, again, the relationship with time, with urgency, with constraints, with limitations, with how we approach time. So that's what today will be about. Sporty Jen, hello to you. Tracy, it's also, he does part of a project and leaves it and starts to finish things. Wonderful. I think it's wonderful that you and Carolina have mentioned from the beginning, Tracy, that there is a judgment on how other people engage with time and how that impacts us. So it's fantastic. So the one thing that I do want to say is time is a huge element with procrastination and inspiration. And with inspiration, there is no consideration to limitations. With procrastination, the whole element of the word of procrastination is that there's a limitation. And specifically, procrastinate means to wait, which means we're waiting till the last moment, and then we have stress, we have anxiety. So there's a limitation on time. There's limitation on our ability to manage time, and there's a limitation on time meeting us to be able to create, to make, to have whatever we need. So the first thing I really wanted us all to look at is, from our different bodies, how do we hold time? Because working and detangling from procrastination, we really need to look at how we all hold time, and also how we hold others in how they hold time. So M says, many health issues make it difficult to take action, but it's moved into procrastination for way too long. How can we start taking action again? Fantastic. And M, it could be about health, it could be about relationships, it could be about work, it could be about your career, it could be making about changes, it could be about everything. And ultimately today we're going to calibrate to, and those of you that know me, boom, 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 it's not going to be a secret. What we're going to come to is that the difference between procrastination and inspiration is allowing, is trusting, is honoring ourselves, honoring the universe, and honoring that everything unfolds at a time that's always for your highest good. And that's why I wanted to start with calibrating to what our beliefs, thoughts, and relationship was with time. So we are going to work with you to let go of any judgment. What I would prefer is that we don't even have some words that contain judgment in our vocabulary. Procrastination is a very heavy judgment saturated word. Can you guys see that? Even Lolita is saying right now, my experience, procrastinators are protectionists, perfectionists. I got you. I knew you were saying perfectionists, but I read your protectionists. Yeah, procrastinators could be labeled different things. And again, what I want to come to is say, hey, if we're using vocabulary and beliefs and thoughts that have judgment and have limitations, that's not allowing us to allow. That's not allowing us to allow. So what we want to do is allow. So let's get it all out. Let's get it all out. Let's get it all out, guys. Let's get it out. Because we already are. What are the limitations with procrastination? Where is it killing us? What do we feel about it? What are our beliefs? What are our limiting beliefs? And what do you want to feel? So if you want to do both, if you just want to do the negative, that's fine. But let's get it out. Tracy, everything is delayed from COVID. So another way of dealing with waiting. Fantastic. Everything. I say it's so unique how COVID has impacted the timeline and everything. And it's so interesting how you saw some was immediate and some there's delays and lags. My car is in the shop for weeks, if not months. I think it's been months now. I stopped counting because there's delays in getting their parts. And when I was talking to the insurance company, they said, we've never seen this before. And it's because of COVID. And so there's two things I could have done. One, been anxious to get my car back, which I was. And then two, I shifted to, you know what, I'm going to stop counting. I said weeks and I said months. It's actually been months. I'm going to shift to stop counting and just allow. So the more that we can start to shift, and yes, there's going to be logic that will allow us to understand things, and a logic will help us. But we all know that the shift isn't from logic. We all know that the shift that ultimately that we want to create in life to feel good about things and to move to inspiration is from feeling. It's from feeling. So what do we want to feel about time? So we have the first question is, what are our limitations on procrastination or our judgment? And then we want to talk about what we want to feel. So Sporty Jen, for me, it's expectation, especially in trusting others to conform how you want them to behave. Beautiful. You hear that? Trusting others rather than trusting ourselves, conforming to how we want them to behave rather than, that's control. You know that, Sporty Jen. I try to be punctual on time. I don't like how I feel when I'm late and vice versa. So that statement has actually wonderful elements of worthiness too. I try to be on time. I try to be punctual. I try to respect others, and I expect that from me too. So there's the worthiness. So for those of you that are new to me, you know there's three things that we're here all to attain, and everything comes back to one of three. Freedom, which is the opposite of that is control, which Sporty Jen beautifully brought out. Worthiness, which Sporty Jen beautifully said, I do not like how I feel when I'm late and vice versa. Implicit in there, tell me Sporty Jen, is about control, and the opposite of control is freedom. And number three is happiness. I do not like how I feel. I want to feel happy. So what we're going to come back to is looking at our relationship with procrastination, seeing how it's related to these three, and detangling to surrender, to allowing, to inspiration, which comes from our intuition, from our gut, from our reaction, and moving into a place of flow. And that comes from letting go of judgments, letting go of limiting beliefs, letting go of the thoughts, limiting thoughts, and being in alignment. And again, we're not going to assert it. We're going to feel it and come into it collectively. You guys, we've gotten to this so fast. Is somebody before Sporty Jen that I did not speak to, or did I? Yes, Tracy talked about COVID being, Carolina, in my house, I try to be a role model on how you can get things accomplished. Planning. At the end, I end up being the annoying person. Fantastic. The judgment other people have on you when your intention is to really help and to align things up. Beautiful. Comes across like I trigger the opposite reaction, so they procrastinate more. Fantastic. So I'm going to ask you, Carolina, I'm going to ask you, what is the energy that you have behind your planning? So you end up being, so what is the judgment? Obviously, you've already said that you conclude that you end up being the annoying person. But when you try to be the role model, so what does that mean about your judgment on them and your actions versus their actions? And how would you like it to feel? Maureen, it sees and hears you. Fantastic. But how would you like it to feel? And how would you like them to feel? So let's get into that. How would we like us to each meet each other, no matter how we dance to the rhythm? Let's look at this. Wow, guys, let's look at this. Our relation to time and our unique expression of our relation to time is no different than our unique voices, our unique thought process, our unique ways of dancing. The first thing I was going to say is our unique body movements. And all of us have different tempos in the way that we see things as being urgent, non-urgent, in our beliefs, in our abilities to accomplish things, and our belief and our ability to ultimately accomplish things, our belief in how other people can or cannot, so our judgment on others' ability. I know with me right now, with my high schooler, I'm at a place where I'm really trying to help him start to calibrate on time. And my recognition is the more that I lean in to tell him that I don't think he's calibrating with time appropriately, that I end up hindering his own development of understanding his ability to calibrate. And I also know that one of his biggest skills academically is that he doesn't stress out and doesn't put in a lot of effort, but is able to accomplish what he needs to accomplish. So if I calibrate that with stress, he's already got a calibration in there to figure out his tempo. So me messing with that messes with him. So I'm trying to give him that space to figure out how his dance and his movements with respect to time and work best are fitting for him. So how is that, everybody? How can we honor that the relationship that everybody has time and our ability to make time is as intimate and as unique as the way that we speak and express ourselves? I've never even thought of time in such an unique, intimate, personalized way as I just spoke in this manner right now. So just like I have my unique way of speaking and the language I use and the logic, and every single one in my family has a very unique way of speaking, even if we're saying the same thing, it's going to come out differently. Well, then why cannot our expression, our relationship with time be done in a unique way? And that's one of the things that individualizes us. How does that feel, guys? How does that feel? Stephanie, Carolina, tell me how that feels. Stephanie, stress, always late, deadlines all the time, piles up. Fantastic, fantastic. And I understand that relationship with time and stress. And stress is stress. We had a session about stress and anxiety, and the best way I articulated stress is the buildup of emotion in a belief that I'm not able to accomplish something. So there's a judgment with stress on time, and our capability of accomplishing what we need to do during the time that we have, or period, doesn't even have to have a relationship with time. So stress always late, deadlines all the time, and it piles up. Fantastic. So Stephanie, do you want to detangle from that, and how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? And again, we're not going to shift anything until we look at what our beliefs are on our time, our thoughts are, and then go to our body. And that's what we're going to do today. Sporty Jen is reaffirming, and it was a while ago, our need to control. Fantastic. Our need to control. And procrastination, see if you guys meet me with this one. Procrastination is actually a reverse relationship with control. It's putting yourself out of control, which is sometimes the same as controlling. Feeling out of control and being over controlling is the same reaction to time, which is not allowing, not flowing, and not going with it. So Sporty Jen, how do you let it flow and not feel like you're dismissing it? Where's the balance? Okay, everything is going to be a case-by-case basis. So we're not going to say that the perfect answer for doing X is Y. But what we need to do is calibrate back to trusting the universe that's always supporting us. Again, we're going to figure out what everybody's beliefs are, and supporting our alignment to allow things to flow. I'm going to bring in, everybody knows about the Lucky Parker, right? Everybody knows about Lucky Parkers and people that always, I'm a Lucky Parker. I have always been a Lucky Parker, and I always will be a Lucky Parker. And I am there timed right when somebody is leaving and have a spot, or the perfect spot is always waiting for me. Always waiting for me, no matter where I am. A Lucky Parker, Tracy, parking a car, wherever I might be, at the mall, on a street, at an event, wherever it might be, there's always a parking spot for me. Always a parking spot for me. Always. Stephanie, you didn't know either? Okay, guys, I'm sorry. No. Whoever's a partner with me is also lucky. No, but a Lucky Parker. Being a Lucky Parker. And that's about calibrating in some way to trusting. I just know. So the biggest calibration is knowing. The biggest, best way to calibrate with anything is just knowing. So my favorite example is that I don't know, I can't even think of something, but I know the things that I know, okay? So I know this is a tree, and I know this is the common English word for a tree. Somebody can't say to me and say, no, that's a bush, and say, oh, Manal, I doubt now and I doubt it. No, I know it. The next under knowing is believing. And then I say, people believe in the Easter Bunny, believe in Christmas, believe in Santa Claus, believe in God. There's a doubt of whether it does or does not exist. Some people will say that they know there's God, and some people will say, I believe. But the number one is knowing. So when we get to how do we calibrate, how do we not procrastinate, how do we feel good about time, there's a knowing that we need to know that everything's always working out for me. Knowing that I'm always capable of performing, getting, doing, lining up with whatever needs to be done at that moment. And there's going to be things that are going to challenge your beliefs of knowing. And those are the calibration that we continue to go to and say, how do we trust? What do we need to trust? What do we need to lean into? What do we need to do? Okay, first timer, please explain calibration. Okay, I like to use the word calibration because I don't believe any of us are unconditionally happy, free, or worthy. If we were, we would be dead. We are here on the human journey to calibrate to unconditional. I like to use calibration, sort of looking at it as a gauge. And when we know we're successful is when we're slowly calibrating to our truth. Not anybody else's truth, but our own truth. And we are all born with unique conditions to allow us to learn how to calibrate to my full expression of who I am, to calibrate to unconditional love, to calibrate to feeling and expressing the full freedom that life and the universe brings to us. And I like using the word calibration because it feels empowering and strong. I don't like using the word trigger. I don't like using language that makes us feel like we're lacking. And so calibration is a strong word for me that's empowering us to, but showing that we're looking to figure out how to align. Align with what? It depends. Today we're talking about how do we align with time, and we were talking about procrastination, which means being aligned with inspiration, with allowing, with flow, whatever it might be. So tell me if that gave you a good answer. I sort of went and gave you a huge picture of a lot of my inspirations and teachings. Steve, attunement is one of mine. I like attunement too. Attunement is a beautiful word. Attunement is one of mine. Attuned. I think that's beautiful. And I think there's similarities between calibration and attunement. Attunement is beautiful, and attunement has a beautiful frequency sound to it. So I enjoy too, Steve, attunement. Sporty Jen says, looking at it from both sides, and I'm not sure what you're referring to. So let me know what you're referring to. Carolina, reverse of control. Wow, yes, procrastination is reverse of control. You're in the other spectrum, and it's feeling out of control. Out of control helps us with it is an indication that we don't feel free. Out of control is an indication of sometimes of us not feeling worthy. Out of control keeps us from being happy. So every time anybody is doing anything on the spectrum that's not, I'll use Steve's word, attuned or aligned or calibrated, it's teaching us how to come back into the middle. So whether it's procrastination or not motivation, procrastination or overly motivated, we're still not allowing. We want to allow. So that high schooler that's overdoing and over delivering and wearing with stress and anxiety, and that high schooler that's not meeting and not doing and procrastinating, they both have energy that they need to learn to align with allowing, with trusting, with flowing. And the way we know, how do we know? So Sporty Jen, I think you said earlier, how do we know? We know when we're flowing with the day in a place of peace and ease. We know when the calendar and the schedule and the time of day isn't, although we are using time, because we have to use time in our physical plane, because if I'm baking, I need to pull something out of the oven in 20 minutes. If I'm doing laundry, I want to take it out in 45. If I'm going to watch something or go to a game or meet somebody, there's a certain time. So time is never going to not be a significant part of our living experience, because it is a major part of the physical expression and physical journey. But how does time feel? How does time feel? And how do we want time to feel? How do we want our kids to, we're going to role model to our family and show them how to be, how do we want to role model feeling in the household? So let's recalibrate. Let's retune. How do we want, if we are role modeling in our home, everybody to feel? How would we like the mornings to feel? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, the household. How would we like? Stephanie, I like the time equals pressure. Yes. And the way that we do it is we come back and we're doing it. Everybody that's talking about how you have a negative perception of time and judgment, we're doing it. Because step one, Am, your first time here, and Stephanie, I think you too, are you? It's awareness. We cannot shift without awareness. And for me, I feel like it's very powerful if we become aware on our four bodies, our egoic body, where we hold our beliefs and our identity, our mental body, where it's our thoughts and processing, our emotional body, how we feel, and our physical body, physical sensations, and how we act and show up in this world. So if we become aware of the four bodies, and our four bodies in our relationship to time, and our four bodies in our relationship to procrastination, and then we slowly calibrate them one at a time until we get into alignment. So I can't tell you that time is infinite and then all of a sudden you shift and feel good about it. No. But by the end of today's inspiration, I can guarantee you that we will all, because we are already all shifting, have this shift in the way that we feel on the limitations of time. And with that shift, we'll start to feel more empowered. And with that more empowerment, we'll start to be on our movement towards more worthiness and freedom and love and happiness. Beautiful. Tracy's asking whether four bodies, and Jessica said the egoic body, where we hold our beliefs and our identity. I am a procrastinator. I am not a procrastinator. I am stressed. I am anything that comes out. I am, except for I am, is your egoic belief. And ultimately, when we just can be at I am, the other I ams, I am this, I am X, I am Y, I am Z, are helpful. And they help us understand who we are in life and grow and community and society, but we don't want them ever to be limitations. We want them to be assets and empowering. The mental, this is our thoughts, our processing. Our mental is so important. Well, they are all, but the mental is actually the translator of all. And so we think that the mental is active sometimes, but the mental is the one that's processing our egoic beliefs and our emotions and our physicality. So the mental, but our mental is where our thoughts are. Limiting thoughts come in here. So this is where we're going to start to say, well, what are our thoughts? So some people, it's their thoughts that are limiting them. They might have beliefs in the universe and beliefs in God and belief in all these things, but then, but I'm not good enough, but I'm this, but I'm that. Those thoughts are what we're going to shift, empowering ones. Emotional body. I believe our heart should be our command center and should be directing everything. That comes from our heart, the beautiful heart, the emotional command center. This is where our emotions are. This body, many of us have created fortresses around it. We're going to be doing an inspiration on that soon. Steve had recommended it after a question last time. And we also try to withhold our feelings, repress them, suppress them, hide them. And that's why we end up having physical pain. Our emotional body, a lot of the work that we do, play that we do together and that I'm inspired to, is to go straight to the emotional body, because nothing will shift without your emotions to being truly in peace, surrender, happiness, love, compassion, allowing. The compassion series of my course is coming out soon, because compassion is the key. But again, we are not going to assert anything. We will not assert compassion. We will not assert love. We will not assert anything, because assertion does not work. I do not like affirmations. If you do not feel it and it does not empower you to feel love and light and ease, it will not work. Your emotional body is the body that has to have the feeling to get you where you want to get. But obviously it's supported by the mental and the egoic body. And then lastly, the physical body, a physical expression of who we are. It's how we're walking on the earth and how our bodies are physically feeling. So tightness, numbness, my heart feeling this way, the tension in our jaw. And the beauty of our body is that a physical sensation, the jaw is the one that I talk about the first inspiration that I did, the first live stream I did, sitting at the beach in Wilmington. I remember said, okay, everybody, I can feel it in the jaw. And every time we have a live stream and we go into our bodies and I give my example, the jaw, I carry it all in the jaw. And it's this desire to be perfect. My perfectionist is just carried in here. Every physical feeling has an emotional counterpart, and our mind, thoughts, and beliefs associated with it. And what we want to do is start to understand the relationship between our physical body, the sensations we feel, the stress in our shoulders. What is the stress in our shoulders? The stress in our shoulders is us carrying the burden of the weight. Us feeling betrayed is behind our shoulders, our shoulder blades. All of this is in our body. So we're going to start to detangle and find it all and break away from it all. And we break away from it all by awareness. And what we're doing today is we are making ourselves all aware that, oh, we have a judgment on us being a procrastinator, or others being a procrastinator, or how we relate our relationship with time, or other people's relationship with time. And that triggering me and not triggering, oh, I'm aware of that now. Something that you're aware of has no power on you. And then you acknowledge the greater desire. So step 2 is acknowledgement. What do we want to acknowledge? We want to acknowledge what it ultimately is that we're attuning to, calibrating to. Is it about worthiness, freedom, or love? And we might not get there directly. We might say, I feel alone. Well, loneliness could be feeling unhappy. Loneliness could be feeling unworthy because you have no connection. Alone can also be not feeling free because you're fearful of death. So it might not be direct, but at the end of the day, one of those 3 are the ones that are that are there. That's one of those 3. So we just start to recognize that every incident, every physical feeling, every emotion is guiding us towards an awareness of our greater desire. And then we appreciate our bodies. We appreciate that we have a feedback system. We appreciate life. We appreciate the conditioning that we were born into and everybody was uniquely born into, and that it's here for us to grow and to expand and to live life fully. And we appreciate that we're here and we're breathing and we're thinking and we're engaging and we're beautiful and we're amazing, and the life journey is absolutely amazing and beautiful. And then when we truly shift, because we truly feel appreciation and love and compassion and surrendered, we can let go of that energy. We can let go of it. And if you all want to try it right now, we can. I know there's some comments that I may or not missed. Have I missed anything? If I did anything, please let me know. Maybe I haven't missed anything. If I missed anything, please let me know. Sometimes I have trouble. And Stephanie, thank you. I just see the donation. I really appreciate it. And yes, yes, yes. I see some yeses. Okay, so do we want to talk, or do you guys want to feel into your bodies and see what your bodies can tell us? Our bodies are powerful. Our bodies are powerful, and we can walk through. This is what we did last time. We actually did a mini meditation in the middle, and then we came back talking again. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Sometimes I want someone beside me that says that I have all caught up with comments or something, because I feel terrible when I don't have. See, the perfectionist in me. It's in the jaw. And I want everybody to be heard, because that's what the beauty is, us hearing each other and connecting with each other and communicating with us. Thank you, Stephanie. You're awesome. You're awesome. Okay, so how is everybody feeling? Do we have any questions or comments, or do you want to go into your body? Do you want to feel and see what your body wants to tell you, and your relationship with time, and your relationship with labeling yourself as controlling or uncontrolling? Because procrastination and lack of procrastination is all about controlling, and how we want to control ourselves and the world and maybe others. And you know what? We haven't talked yet about what it is that we want to feel. How would you all like to feel with time? Let's get into that. How do you want to feel with time? We talked about how we do feel and how other feels and how other people make us feel. But how do we ultimately want to have the relationship with things that we have to do, work that we have to do, things that we... Jessica, beautiful word. Beautiful word. Harmony. And I'm going to point something out. Harmony and attunement, and even calibration, because you calibrate your tools, those all have to do with music, with vibration. We are vibrational being. We are vibrational processors. The way we see, the way we hear, the way we talk, the way we feel, everything is vibration. So I love all the vibrational words, because we are all vibration and consuming vibration. Tracy, more than enough. Go with the flow. Fantastic. And what's something then more than enough? We are enough. We can't be more than enough. We are enough. We are exactly as we meant to be. We are exactly where we're meant to be. It's one of my favorite things to say. We're exactly as we're meant to be. Whatever is going in our life is meant for a reason. Go with the flow. Water. I like using water as an example too, an analogy, because water is flowing, and the waves, vibration and sound are waves. And water is a great analogy of a physical wave that we can all relate to. So that's why waves and water are all, because vibration is waves, water is waves, but the physical wave is sometimes easy for us to relate to as humans. Carolina. I don't know why I have trouble with it, Carolina, because I know Carolina's with eyes, not the... Anyway, I will get it. Just bear with me and love me. Midnight dancer. You're the midnight dancer. Relaxed. What does relaxed mean to you? Relaxed means to me easy. It means trusting. It means accepting. It means knowing. It means what Judith is saying, calm, in sync. And Steve, that's what is a great one with other people, in sync. Wait, Steve, now you're saying actually out of sync. Is it in sync or out of sync? Or is it just synchronized, and it doesn't have to be in or it has to be out? It's just synchronized. Synchronicity. Isn't synchronicity about the timing just coming in at beautiful times? Synchronicity. So Steve, you're right. It's not in and it's not out. It's synchronicity. It's synchronized. Stephanie, in alignment. In alignment. And what does alignment mean? To me, it means, and you did it, you had the yoga and the stars, but it's the egoic, the mental, the emotional, and the physical body all aligned. That means I feel physically relaxed and calm. My emotions is just peaceful and easy, And the physical could be calm, and the emotional could be calm too. And I just feel good. Carolina, I love you too. Tracy, exhale. No tension. And do you guys see how we're all shifting the way that we feel? Do you see how that we're all calibrating or tuning to these words? Are we all, like in the beginning when we were talking about procrastination, we were picking up this energy, and now as we say these words, we're all just sort of melting into them? Carolina, worry-free. But I want us to change that. Can you do that one in a more empowering word? Sporty Jen, I'm thinking about my sister. She was a procrastinator and worried herself silly about things she had no control over. I felt so frustrated, but now I feel guilty and hypocrite because I'm exactly the same. Fantastic. You know what, Sporty Jen? I'm a procrastinator, but because I always get it done and I can get it away with it at the end, there was little judgment people would have on me because I just always squeaked through and always made it. So I was fortunate. So that was a belief. That belief actually really helped me. But look at the judgment that you feel, the guilt that you feel, and the hypocrisy, and see where you're feeling that. I bet you it's in your abdomen. So see where you feel that, and let's get at that, because I know that you carry a lot of your resistance in your abdomen, and we want to get at that. So let's find where that is. Stephanie, reined in, not spread out far. I love that little emoji with the eyes going crazy. So reined in, not spread out far. Okay, let's say that one differently too. Let's call that aligned. Let's call that one comfortable. Let's call it allowing. Can you help me? How else do you see that? If you're comfortable, if you're aligned, see what else that you can help me with that with Stephanie. Gary, my emotions are never in sync. So Gary, what does that mean? What are they not in sync with? Tell me what your emotions are never in sync with. So you have a judgment on your emotions. So let's carry that. So I want you to see your judgments on your emotions, and they're never in sync with others. Never in sync. You overreact when things or underreact. Tell me more about that so we can get to the bottom of it. Steve, time is like a construct, like a box. There's something like that circadian natural thing that works for my everything. It's in like a natural rhythm, no time. Beautiful. I believe that time is virtual on many of our bodies, on many of the dimensions. I know it exists on the physical level. I know. And I love it and honor it on the physical level. But on our emotional, our mental, and our egoic level, time does not exist. So if we start to recognize, like Steve is saying, the construct nature of it, and I believe, now I get a bit crazy and I love sharing these beliefs, but it's okay. I usually like to stay physical and human, but I do believe that we can actually energetically shift things in the past and it will help us in the future. And we can go in the future and it will help us in the past. But that's sort of like sci-fi stuff that I can't turn around and prove. I believe, I actually sometimes know it, but time is a construct. How are you using time as a limitation? Or are you going to be like Steve, where you say it's a construct and now it becomes unlimited, unconditional, expansive? How do we make time expansive? How do we make it as abundant as those trees behind me? How do we realign our belief on time? And then time ultimately becomes money and worthiness and freedom. So your relationship with time, how you reconstruct it, will actually come into all of the elements of your life in such a beautiful way. So we just continue to learn to attune, calibrate ourselves to one thing at a time until we find the unconditional, expansive, abundant nature in everything, because it exists everywhere. And if you look around in this human journey, you will see people with abundance in time, abundance in everything, abundance in money, abundance in relationships, abundance in whatever it might be. Anything that you want to say in the physical, you will see somebody with it in abundance, which means it could exist for anybody in absolute abundance, which means all we need to do is calibrate to it. Stephanie, every time you say beautiful, soft words, my heart gets a ping feeling and a smile ends up on my face. Fantastic, Stephanie. And that's what the fun is during our inspirations. We all get together, we share how we feel, we share the things that we don't we may not have shared before, or we feel shameful, or may have in the past felt ashamed for feeling, and we realize, oh, this is empowering, and then we feel fantastic doing it. This is the play. I don't like calling it work. This is the play that we do to help us go back to the truth of who we are. And we're all unique, and we're all beautiful, and we all have beautiful stories from our past that make us so unique and different, and we are going to celebrate that and find the most pure expression of who we all are uniquely. And we will sing the purity of who we are and express it in our physical, in our I want to say it in our speak, in our emotional, in our mental, in our egoic. We will just be the true expressions of who we are. And my expression of who I am is different than every single one of you. So it's not about us trying to come into this box. Like Steve said, just time is a box. We've actually also made humans have to fit into boxes. And there's different initiatives for those boxes to be peeled away. You know, before it was feminism, and at one point it's about race, and now it's about gender and sexuality. And it's like, let's remove these boxes and accept us all for who we are individually. And our journeys, where we came from. That's what, to me, diversity is. Diversity is the purest love, compassion, acceptance for every single person and every single journey that brought us to where we are. And the recognition that no two will ever be alike, even twins. I was talking to one of my dear twin little sons. He's not my son, but one of my children's friends. And him and his brother, twins, uniquely different. Their experiences are uniquely different. And they're twins. They came out from the same womb at the same time, same timeline, uniquely different. We all are uniquely different. And the more we can just accept ourselves for the beauty of who we are, then we will accept everybody else for who they are. Stephanie, so that's fantastic. I want us all to smile. And authentic smiles, authentic. Sporty Jen, very strong feelings in my tummy, my favorite place. It seems fantastic. So did you feel it, and did you let it go? Did you recognize that feeling in your tummy? Did you look at that judgment that you had in your sister? Did you feel that guilt? Did you localize it physically in the tummy and say, I see you. I see you, resistance. I smell you, resistance. I hear you, resistance. I speak you, resistance. I think you, resistance. I know you, resistance. I feel you. And oh, I recognize that you're teaching me how to accept, how to love, how to surrender. I see that judgment is a teacher to teaching me the beauty of life. Accepting myself so I can accept my sister, or accepting my sister so I can accept myself. And then when you see it, it can change. It can morph. It can morph from that tension and release, because tension is because it's not seen. And once you see it, it just goes. Stephanie, surrendering gives up control. When I let go of the uncontrollables, I feel more in flow. Exactly. And Stephanie, a lot of our dances, I'm calling this a dance now, our inspirations, is on recognition of control. We did one on death the other day, and we did one on being alone, and we did everything. It actually all comes out to control. Procrastination is about control and not being in control and being out of control. It's all about control. And if somebody controls you, you might want to be out of control. And that's where we abuse drugs and alcohol and food, because it's a way of feeling uncontrolled, just like you may have been conditioned to feel out of control by those around you that you were dependent on. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful when you're aware of it and you start to recognize, oh, this is a conditioning lesson for me. This is a conditioning lesson for me. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Gary, I always feel emotional distress. It feels almost mental. So Gary, is it that you're not acknowledging the emotional feelings that you go into your mind? Let's get into it. What is it that you are doing that is making you feel that you have to go in your mind. I would suggest, what I'm hearing is that you're not willing to acknowledge the emotion, and so then you go mind. And what we need to do is slowly keep building that muscle to seeing the emotional feeling and then watching the mental discussion. No, you shouldn't feel that. What is it? Okay, Gary, what is the mental talk? What is the mental talk? And Stephanie is sending you love. Stephanie, dang, I missed some good lives. I'm glad that you're following. Fantastic. Everybody that hasn't been following, and join our group, Attaining Your Authentic Life. Attaining Your Authentic Life. Yes, they are recorded. I have a few of the lives available on my talks, and I'll be uploading the rest of them very shortly. I've been saying that I'm working on some of my technical processes, and I'm almost going to be uploading them all, so they'll all be on very soon. And there's two or three that are already uploaded on, maybe not two or three, but anyway, yes, they will be, and they are, and they're all on my other channels as well. If procrastination is out of control, why would we want to do this to ourselves? Fantastic question. We are conditioned. So I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it. We came in as babies, fully dependent. We come out and we can't eat. We can breathe. We can't drink. We can't even sleep without being taken care of by human adults that have also come in fully dependent. And in this process, everybody has been conditioned. During this process, there's vibration, there's feelings, there's emotions, there's life. I mean, if you read any of the holy books, there's prophet stories, and there's war, and there's stories, and we absorb that. And so when we start to grow, we start to learn patterns from what we learned as a baby, as a toddler, as a teenager. During those formative years, I do believe the first 2-3 years, maybe the first year is where everything is, and then the rest of your life is sort of conditioning from those early years, first 3 years, first whatever, doesn't matter what it is. And then if you ask me what my belief is, this is the architecture of the human journey. This is the design. This is the universe's divine, God's design. Some people call it God, universe, inner power, greater power, higher power, whatever it might be. So then the why, the Manal's why is, we're here to grow and expand. We're here to learn to surrender. We're here to learn how to calibrate back to worthiness and freedom and love. And the more I watch stories in life, those that ultimately get it and find freedom, there's an acceptance, a love, a surrender, a beauty to the way life is seen. And there might have been difficult stories that have gotten them there, but that ultimately is the end game. That's what I believe. So why would we want to do this to ourselves? We do not want to, but we have been conditioned. And so we collectively get to understand all of the emotions, the vibrations, the feelings, the conditioning that we went through, and then come back and say, oh, I see that, but I want to calibrate to the truth of beauty, of love, of abundance, of greatness, of allowing, of inspiration, of flow. Andrea, when I said saw your good morning, I smiled. Good morning to you. Gary, we're getting there. I mean, how do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? So that end game, when we all die, we get there. I love reading a lot of and watching TV and stories about end of lives and how people near-death experiences. So at the end of the day, when we're all vibration, and when you die, we'll get there. We will, guys. So sometimes when I get frustrated because something will come again, I've been said, well, Manal, when you get it, you're gonna die. You will get it when we die. So let's enjoy the journey of calibrating higher and higher. We're hiking up a mountain. I don't like the analogy of a mountain because it feels like it's a lot of work, but we're journeying, and we're getting to the destination. And every day, if we can feel happier, if we can feel more free, if we can feel more worthy for who we are and loving ourselves unconditionally, then we're reaching it. And just every day we look for that incremental improvement. Incremental improvement. That's the muscle that I talk about. Incremental improvement. I don't know why I always go to my biceps. Incremental improvement. That's what we want every day. Incremental improvement. So Gary, as you tear up, and I think that's beautiful, what's your incremental improvement today? Your recognition that you're, oh my God, you guys, I can feel all that emotion. Do you all feel that emotion? There's intense emotion right now in this room. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Do you all feel that? And Stephanie, I love that love and all those hearts. So you recognizing that, hey, there's a disconnect between my emotional body and my mental body, and I want them to be connected, and I want them to understand each other, and I want them to love each other. You're moving towards that end game. That you're going to stop that conditioning of not honoring that emotional body, which you all know I do not like to make gender differentiations. I do not like to, because I've got a daughter, 2 daughters, I got a son, and some things are genetic, but some things there's also the X and Y chromosome difference. And I know a lot of men in society have been shown not to show your emotions. That's a conditioning. It's a known belief, known conditioning that men, most on the majority, are conditioned not to show your emotions. And now you're deciding, I'm going to start to create synchronicity, connection between my emotional body and my mental body. That's moving towards the end game. And it's absolutely beautiful. Gary, how do you feel? How are you feeling? Sporty Jet, I think we're conditioned to be like others we see rather than be in tune, explore, accept, acknowledge our own uniqueness. It feels like a teary eureka moment. Oh my God, you guys are really moving me. Yes, yes. We are all taught to look at others, to look at magazines, to look at TV, and to look at all these things. And here's the ideal, and you have to meet the ideal. That's what perfection is. What perfectionism is, that we talked about from the very beginning, that procrastinators are perfectionists. And so if procrastinators are perfectionists, then that means that's what procrastinators are. Those that are just trying to be what other people's are. No, we're all beautiful, and we all come out. This is what body image, we do talk, there's a few that we have. I have my self-image reboot course and body image, but because we all have unique bodies. In this world, there is a million, and obviously a million, could there be infinite, whatever it might be, heights and broadness and shoulders and weights and colors and hair and eyes and shapes. How can there be an ideal for what beauty looks like when there's an infinite number of iterations of who we are? We have been taught to look outside and to not value ourselves, and being external rather than internal. So yes, Sporty Jet, I absolutely agree with you. And if we can find compassion towards the human journey, so not anger, where sometimes you guys will see me have a judgment, or in that even what sounded judgmental, and have a anger towards how life was and the conditioning that we've gotten, and have that compassion for recognizing, oh, this is humanity, this is life, this is how we've been taught, this is how we've been evolved. And once the more that we can shift to that love and shift to that awareness of, oh, this is just the design, and it's just the design, and the more that I can move to recognizing, becoming aware of some of the patterns that I fall into and my desire for the freedom from it, then I empower myself. So Gary, I feel like progress and then regression. Well, I always talk about, we can't get a straight line because we're not robots, we're not code, we're humans. So I always talk about what we want to see as an overall trend line, but there's going to be movement along it. So great, see the progress. I want you to see, okay, that trend line, and that regression is a normal part of being human. You will human. And who's to say when you human if it's actually a regression or a expression or a calibration towards what it is for you to learn and to get refamiliarized with your emotional body? So what does regression feel like, and why would you have regressed? Give me an example of progress when you feel like you've made progress, and give me an example of your judgment on regression so we can turn around and calibrate that. Steve, yes, that's interesting. Emotional body, mental body, do that how? I never heard that before. Okay, wait, do what? Emotional body to mental body. The whole point of saying that we have 4 bodies isn't to make us 4 individuals, is to honor a feedback system that's coming on different dimensions. And then these feedback systems, when in alignment, allows you to be in flow. So our emotional body, we have emotions, and we've been mostly conditioned to see emotions as bad. Anger as bad, sadness as bad, frustration as bad, guilt as bad, shame as bad. And they all don't feel good when you're feeling them. I much prefer to be how to be happy. One of my favorite videos is, and meditations and talks is 10 steps to calibrate to happy. So I believe, and I also believe that we want to be unconditional happy. However, the emotions that get us to there are tools to help us to understand what our greatest desires are in life. So when we look at them as tools, when we feel emotions, instead of saying, oh, bad emotions, you're coming out, we ask, why am I feeling this? What are you trying to tell me, body? What am I meant to learn from this? How can I grow from this experience and this feeling? And then with every emotion, particularly when we suppress it, there's a thought. Oh, I'm going to be okay. Oh, everything's going to be okay. Oh, that wasn't fair. Oh, life sucks. Oh, this is hard. Oh, life is a struggle. Oh, things are difficult. And this logic is trying to help suppress the emotion. Steve, when they're separate, I never noticed. It makes you sick. Yes. When they're separate, you're when they're not being acknowledged, they're being repressed. So what we want to do is start to acknowledge the physical feelings, the emotions that are related to it, and start to ask the mind, what is it telling me? Not to judge, not to be angry, not to repress, not to affirm that everything is okay when it's not. And then these beliefs, these egoic beliefs that I'm always talking about, then we turn around and say, well, what's life about? Life's about fun. Life's a beautiful human journey. Life is exciting. I trust the universe. If you believe in God, I trust God. If you believe in your inner being, higher power, you trust. I recognize that there's a meaning in life. Oh, I think we're all connected. I think all humans are connected. I think it's called Indra's web, this concept that we're all connected in some way. Oh, I think we're all part of nature and universe. These thoughts that sort of help you navigate these emotions by not affirming that everything's okay, but reminding yourself that there's a meaning to this all, and I'm going to make meaning out of my feeling. Not I'm going to say my feeling everything's okay. No, I'm going to make meaning out of my feeling. Got that? Gary, good. Steve, good. Everybody, good. I see the hearts coming up. You guys, I love the hearts because it makes me know that what I'm saying is connecting. I love the heart. So Steve, Gary, I think those of you two are the ones that were mostly speaking about this. Does this resonate? So what I want us to do is not think that we have 4 bodies and we're 4 instead of 1. I want to start to recognize the expression. And those of you that know me, you know I love the chakras. I love the 7 chakras. And some people say that there's more than chakras. And sometimes the chakras in rainbows. But now in the 5D, they're platinum and silver and gold. I don't even know anymore. But I love the chakras. And I love that they're energy centers. And that we have this expression of any energy centers. And they're associated with emotions and physicality and all of these different things. And we could talk about our chakras and 7 chakras, but what I like, my inspiration, Manal's brand, and I don't, brand is a very sterile word to use, so it's not the word I mean to use, but is about being as human and use as many human physical words to relate to how we see life in the most lowest common denominator. So we can't disagree and we can all agree and we can understand from ease what this human journey is about. Okay, how's that? Sporty Jen, my tummy is easing and I feel myself taking in a deep breath. It's feel freeing. Fantastic, Sporty Jen. I think, Sporty Jen, it's been the last 3 or 4 that you keep talking about the pain in your abdomen. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And this is what I want to make sure that I am saying really clearly. And today it's about procrastination, which is about the time. Let's honor the time our bodies take to recalibrate to our new song. Let's not expect that we have some new lyrics and we're going to belt it out perfectly right away. Let's take the time that's best for our highest good. It's one of my favorite phrases. The time that's best for my highest good. The time best for my highest good. So the time best for my highest good. Not the time that I define. Not that it's hard, not that it's going to take a long time, not it's going to take a short time, not it's going to take forever, not it's going to take months, it's going to take years. The time, honor time, best, optimal for my highest good. And that's what I'd invite you all to have your new relationship with time. It's not about weeks, days, hours, moments, years, months. I'm going in reverse, but you guys get my spin. It's about always the time that's best for my highest good. Let go of any limitations in your beliefs and your thoughts about time. Good. Gary, I will feel improvement and acceptance. Then old triggers come up and I get super anxious and my trust in myself seems to disintegrate and my mind starts telling me, I told you so, you're never going to be better. Okay, fantastic. I will feel improvement and acceptance. Fantastic. So you're starting to feel more improvement and acceptance. So ride that wave. I'm feeling better and I'm getting to acceptance. Fantastic. Then the old, you called them triggers. Let's not call them triggers. And Steve, you're the same. Fantastic. And Steve says, I have a lot of projection. I don't mean to. Okay, fantastic. So let me go back. Okay. Then old triggers come up. Let's not call it triggers. Let's call it stories. Let's call it experiences. Let's call it calibrators. Let's call it tuners, attunement. Make up new words, guys. I don't care what we talk about, but let's not call it triggers. Triggers is what we do with guns. We do not want to feel triggered anymore. I used to use that word all the time, and then one day I realized, ooh, that's not a nice word. And I'm not going to use that about me and about everybody anymore, because even though it's a commonly accepted word for somebody else making me feel that way, and it feels, but I'm like, it's a gun, Manal, and it's giving power to other people. So let's call it, Gary, old stories. Experiences. And let's not even call it old, because now we have a judgment on things from the past. Things are going to keep reoccurring till it cleans up inside you. So it's something comes up, a story. And I have mine. I mean, Gary, there's something that's been in my life for a while. And I said the other day to one of my friends, when is this going to go? I'm ready for the story to end. And then even that energy that I have in saying that is an indication that it's not ready. It's not ripe. Okay, this is a terrible, terrible analogy. I can't say I'm saying it, but it's coming to my mind. You know when we have a pimple and it's ready to pop or it's not ready to pop? It's not ready to pop. It's not ready to pop. It's not ready. So whatever that's coming up, that story, it's not ready. It's not ready. And trust, again, time. Today's all about time. For your highest good, that when it's ready, it will go. Whether pop is a bad analogy because it means that it comes out in that spurt, or it will just come when it's ready. It will come. You get super anxious again. Okay, beautiful. Anxious, anxiety. That's about fears that you're not willing to acknowledge. So let's get at it Gary and Steve, because Steve says I feel the same way. What is the fear? What is the fear? Talk about your fear. And my trust in myself seems to disintegrate. Perfect. So let's find out what your fear is. Your fear is that you're good enough. Your fear is in success, in failure. Let's get to your fear. Let's acknowledge and see that fear right now in front of us all. Let's feel that fear and let's honor it and let's recognize it till you take away its power. Till you take away its power. And my trust in myself seems to disintegrate. So we want to calibrate back to trust and acceptance. So the two words that you want to say is trusting yourself and accepting yourself and the universe. Gary, do you doubt the universe or God or whoever it might be, or is it just yourself? Let's ask that. And my mind starts telling me, I told you so, you're never going to get that. And then now you blame and you judge your mind. And your mind is judging you. So you're judging your mind because my mind starts to telling me, and then you're judging you. So fantastic. When I break it down that way, do you feel more empowered? Can you answer those questions? All of you. Gary, Steve, all of you. Steve says, I have a lot of projection. I don't mean to. Fantastic. So just look at it and you see it and you acknowledge it. And again, whatever analogy that you see, what's the analogy that you see? It's just not ready. You see that projection for what it is. Wow, I'm projecting that anger onto this situation. I'm projecting this feeling onto this. I'm logicking my reaction to X, Y, and Z. I just read a report about something. And it's like, I acted like this because of this, and I acted like this because of this, and I acted like this because of this. And it was all justified. I mean, there were big reactions to big actions, but you still acted that way. Sure, you had an excuse and a reason for it, but you still acted that way. So let's start to not make us a victim to the external and start to look at us again. That's that one that we did. Actors versus reactors. Actors versus reacting. Projecting is actually reacting rather than acting. And that one, I don't know if that one's live. I'll tell you guys. Join Attaining Your Authentic Life, and I'll tell you which of the lives are already ready as talks and when they will be available, blah, 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 blah. But that one's a really good one. And projection is actually reacting, Steve. And I think you were part of that session. Let me know if you were. Andrea, loving, I love that. I'm not sure, 5 minutes ago. She loved something I said 5 minutes ago. Andrea, thank you. Cheryl, tearing up over a past memory and thinking I thought I was healed. Beautiful, beautiful. The best way that it was explained to me about emotion and past memories is that sometimes it could be like an explosion and bomb. And you know when something explodes or you break a glass, you break a bowl or something, and then pieces go all over. My son broke a bowl the other day and he sweeped it up and it was beside the sink. And then beside the stove was this big piece. And I'm like, Yusuf, you didn't even pick this one up. He goes, Mom, it broke over there. And it was like, it was many feet away. And I'm like, oh, sorry, because I wasn't very kind the way I said, there's a big piece here. And so past memories and experiences and emotions, it goes everywhere in your body in certain ways, and honor the way that it comes out when it comes out, and recognize that you're only able to process it when you're ready. And one memory might make you feel ashamed a couple of years ago, and then today it might make you feel guilty. And then tomorrow, it might make you feel frustrated. And that's all just, I call it the rainbow of emotions. And they all sort of like, it will all just sort of like synthesize. I don't know if it's the right word, because I said tasting and synthesizes and tasting. But anyway, you guys are with me in different ways, and just sort of honor it. And Cheryl, if you want to talk about that memory and talk about where you're feeling, if you feel like it's coming out in a good way, I'm happy to hear. But I think it's beautiful and it's a normal part of us processing. Okay, beautiful. There's agreement that we will not use the word trigger anymore, but we'll use it in the context of recognizing that we won't use it anymore. Gary, I've always been a believer, but doubts creep in when you feel like, shh. Sometimes I feel more than good enough than I used to. Good. So you're getting stronger. Fantastic. So then I think the biggest things that you made us aware of you today is that there's an acceptance and trust that you are muscling through in the beauty of who you are and your unconditional belief in God. You said a believer, so I assumed a believer of God, but a believer. But some unconditional. So you're building up that muscle. And I would suggest the way you're speaking, and you tell me if this is right, whether or not it's worthiness. Because accepting yourself and trusting yourself is about worthiness. And then I'll ask yourself, when were you conditioned to not feel worthy? When in your timeline were you conditioned to feel like you weren't the powerful, beautiful, aligned with your inner power, not external power, internal power, internal power. A lot of our inspirations, we come back and realize that control is about power, but the true power is in our alignment with our internal power. So all of us, let's look right now. Do you have moments of feeling unworthy? 0, 1, yes or no? I would assume that since we're all human, there's going to be some answer to yes. Maybe if I asked if it was the majority of the time, we would have a different answer. But if I asked you if you have moments of feeling unworthy, as we're all humans, I would expect to see a majority of yes. Yes, of course, laugh out loud says Stephanie. Sporty Jen says yes. Elena says yes. Fantastic. Marissa, 1 to 10, I'm at a 5 right now. She's got the laugh out loud as well. Fantastic. Okay, great. So I want us all, let's do this. I was ready to go into the body a bit ago and we didn't because we had this wonderful dialogue. Let's do it now. But we're not going to meditate. We're just going to go into the body. I want everybody to invite into your body the feeling of unworthiness. Fantastic. Fantastic. Steve, brilliant answer. I don't think I have moments of feeling worthy. Seldom. Fantastic. And Gary probably does not feel worthy. I went through a rough divorce involving 3 kids. Fantastic. Okay. So what I want is everybody invite the feeling of unworthiness. And you can invite it of one of several ways. One, like Gary did. Invite a story, a thought, an experience that made you feel unworthy. Or like Steve did, who went straight to, I have little moments of feeling worthy. So invite that. You can also invite it by going into your emotional body, which I just said, which Steve just said, just going into the feeling of worthiness. What you can also do it is by going into your physical body. So Sporty Jen gave us, she keeps talking about her abdomen. So you'd go into your stomach, go into your tummy. So if I say worthiness and you can feel it somewhere in your chin, your shoulders, your stomach, your heart, wherever it might be, go in through your body. So those are the 3. I usually don't say to go in through your egoically. I think it is a way, but it's not a way that we're all easily accessible, and it's not as physical. So go through your mental body by calling up thoughts or experiences. Go through your emotional body by connecting with feeling unworthy. And go through your physical. Andrea having trouble accessing unworthiness, which is fine. What's a resistant feeling that you might have feeling that you're familiar with? You don't need to do unworthiness. Judgment, anything. Yes, Cheryl, for me unworthiness is wishing I had behaved or reacted differently because of regret and shame. Beautiful, beautiful. And unworthiness is a big sort of balloon for a lot of different feelings. So if you want to go into regret or shame, fantastic. And I'm going to start calling it resistance rather than worthiness, okay? So find resistance. And that's why in a lot of my meditations, I try to use the word resistance rather than the emotion because everybody feels it differently. But we entered this by talking about worthiness. Beautiful. Stephanie, tummy digestive system gives me pain. Feeling unworthy feels yucky. Fantastic. So go into your tummy and digestive system. Go into any resistance. Elena, the limiting beliefs of I'm unworthy or I'm worthless are different to me. Tell me the difference. They are different. They do have different tastes. And you might want to go through once. First, I'm unworthy, and then you go through I'm worthless. They are different meanings. Steve, we're going to do this until it doesn't feel icky, because you let it go. Steve is saying, this is icky. Why do we do this? It feels horrible. I'm just asking. Steve, you know what? Because you feel more unworthy than worthy, don't overindulge this and just sort of feel your mind rather than going to your body. If it feels really bad, just go into the judgment that you hold that I'm more unworthy and feel unworthy than worthiness, and don't overindulge in it. So I don't want it to feel horrible. I don't want you to overindulge. I don't want you to go into it. I want you to become aware of it without indulging in it. Okay, so I'm glad that you said that. Whenever we do the work, I don't want you to feel horrible. I want you to be as if you were a doctor, a third person coming in and observing this energy in an inquisitive and curious way with a knowledge that he's here to heal it by seeing it and giving you the antidote that you need. And the antidote is love. The antidote is compassion. The antidote is the awareness of your full worthiness, your full freedom, and your full beauty. Beautiful. Elena, I'm worthless is not I'm valuable. I'm not valuable. I'm unworthy is I don't deserve. Okay, whatever one is more stronger for you, and I like your distinction. I really do like it. Whatever's stronger tasting for you right now, go into it. Sporty Jen, feeling resistance in my tummy, but it's stronger around my heart. Feeling deep sadness and upset, sitting with it, not judging it. Beautiful. So I want you all to get into third person and to be aware of it. Stephanie feels the same thing too as Steve, that it's overwhelming. So don't allow it to be overwhelming. And Mirtha's feeling like Jen and feeling heaviness in your heart. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you to do is, again, I like to use the word connoisseur. I want you to become a connoisseur of the flavors of your emotion and your body. I want you to taste it and not to overindulge in it. I want you guys to just see it, recognize it. And you may have seen it in the past as horrible and icky. I'm using your word, Steve, and difficult. But now I want us to see it as a recognition that we're going to take it for clues to liberate you, clues to guide you towards your worthiness and towards your beauty and towards your freedom and towards your happiness. Elena, heart hurts, beautiful. Beautiful. So now I'm going to talk a bit right now. What I want to remind you all is that this energy, this resistance is a gift. That we're going to start meeting it hand to hand as recognizing that it's a gift. And that this resistance is here to teach us how to calibrate to our greatest and to our unconditional worthiness and our freedom and our love. And that in the past, we were conditioned to turn it off and to see it as bad and to not recognize it and to hide from it and to feel bad from it. But now we're entering a new regime. And this regime is honoring it and recognizing that this resistance and energy is here to teach us, to guide us, that we're here to learn from it. We're here to see it, to play with it, to enjoy it, to have fun with it. And that we're shifting collectively, and that we have built a community of love, of compassion, of care, of support, of understanding, of hearing, to guide us towards feeling good. And see that energy and start to see how you can shift towards loving the journey that you've been on. Loving the experiences, whether it's divorce or illness or any type of conditioning, sort of see and ask for a shift towards love and compassion towards all of our experiences, asking to put on a lens of recognizing that it's always been here for our growth and expansion. And recognizing that the time that's best for your highest good, that shift will start to happen. Gary, the tears help the weird mental distress. Beautiful. The tears is release of resistance. Sometimes I shake when I meditate, and I always thought it was weird, and now I sort of enjoy it. It's the resistance coming out. Tears is resistance. Burping is resistance. Yawning is letting out the resistance. Our bodies, when we slow it down in healthy ways, will let go of this resistance without more pain. When we hold it in, it only comes out with more pain. Marissa, I burp so much, she says. Fantastic. And that could be you just releasing energy, particularly if you're meditating and if you're looking at your energy and you're burping, you're releasing energy. So I want you guys to shift that love, and I love the laughter and the happiness and the tears. And just see how we're all here together because we want to grow and we want to learn and we want to expand and we want to be understood and we want to be seen. We've talked about being alone, and we recognize we want to be understood, we want to be seen, and we're all here seeing each other. And we're all here understanding each other. And we're all here for each other. And see the beauty in that. The beauty in the human journey. It really is a beautiful design. If you think about it, it's an amazing design. Like if this was a virtual game, which I sometimes call it the virtual physical experience. If it was a virtual game, it's actually a really interesting, fantastic design. Come in, fully sponge to absorb it all. Then you have choice to let it go. And every experience guides you towards letting it go. So let's stop taking our stories so seriously and just recognize, hey, this is a human journey. This is the design by the master, by the creator. And I'm part of this design. I'm part of this creation. I'm part of this universe. And you know what? I am going to rock this. Gary, this is painful. I'm saying all empowering things, I thought now. I thought we're letting go of I'm not worthy. Thank you, Elena. Is challenging. Oh, letting go of I'm not worthy is challenging. Okay, where's that challenge? Deep sadness. And don't forget, if this is your first time, guys, that we're going to take our time to get this going. This is okay. Today we're learning a bike, or learning to ride a bike might take weeks or months. Getting back into getting to know our body might take the time that it takes, and it's okay. I've been working on myself forever. I'm not even going to give a finite time. Forever. And I still have my stories. And I'm intellectually aware, and I've been doing the emotional work for some time. Today I got a call about the car, and before this InsightTimer, my face was all flushed and red, and I felt really upset. And I said, Manal, you're going online in 30 minutes. You're going to calibrate down to this. And I held my hands because they were cold, and I calmed my cheeks down, and I hope they weren't overly red when we opened up. And I said, it's all going to work out like it always does. We're going to get the things that are going to make us feel different ways. So Elena's saying deep sadness, betrayal, and grief. Beautiful. Sauciness. Beautiful. Chantel, interesting. When feeling the resistance in my stomach, I burp too, and when meditating, I shake. Okay, fantastic, Chantel. I love that. I used to not like it, and now I'm like, you know what? Something's going on a vibrational level. Elena, not sauciness, stuckness. I sort of liked it that you're calling all of these flavors of emotion. And I've been working on it for over 35 years. Guess what? Some people die at 96, like the Queen. May God rest love and peace to her soul. She still had stories at 96. We're human. It's until the day we die. And what our intention is to have the best physical experience that we can. And I would suggest it's through feeling and honoring our conditioning, honoring our journey, honoring our stories, honoring our emotion, honoring our thoughts, honoring our beliefs, and just getting into calibration with that. That's what I would suggest. Chantel, is shaking when meditating related to the flight response? Chantel, I've always thought that it was that meditation is the best way to maybe efficiently isn't the right word, gently is the right word. Meditation is the gentlest way to raise your vibration. There's other ways to raise your vibration, and in life we're raising it. Today we're raising it. And I've always seen that the shaking is letting out of that lower vibration and calibrating to a higher vibration. That's how I've always processed it in me as well. Elena, I'm worthless. Keeps me stuck. Okay, I want you to enjoy the taste of I'm worthless until I'm going to ask you, what feeling does it give? And you'll just keep saying I'm worthless and worthless and worthless and worthless till it doesn't get you to react anymore. So I'm worthless now is going to be your game that you'll keep saying until it has no reaction. We were talking about creativity a few inspirations ago, and somebody shared about addiction. And I said, I don't want you to continue to label yourself as an addict, but as long as you have resistance to that, keep using it. Keep using it to clean up that resistance. So you know how I said you go into meditation or go into your body and go into your emotion by a thought or a feeling? You use I'm worthless as that calibrator. Use it. I'm worthless. And say, oh wow, that's making me feel bad. Oh wow, that goes to my heart. Oh wow, that's coming in my abdomen. Oh wow, I feel that in my shoulders. Oh wow, that feels bad. And you do that. And you do that, and you do that. What if your experience proves the belief? That's, Elena, the key to the play is that you really need to decide what is your belief. What do you truly believe? Now, I truly believe that we're all here as our purpose in life, that we don't need to find purpose. We are purpose. I have a live stream about you are the purpose of your life. We are the purpose. Stop looking for purpose. We are purpose. And I believe that God, universe, nature, higher power, inner being holds us all unconditionally, equally, and beautifully, and free and worthy. That's what I believe. But I can't make you believe. But you need to decide what you believe. And if you say, no, I believe that I'm not, belief is here. But what is your egoic beliefs? What truly are your beliefs? And that's why I like to separate your belief. Is it your thoughts or your belief? Is it your thoughts or your beliefs? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yo, G, awesome, and you gave me the big G. I think Gary and Steve are talking to each other in G's. Steve, you can trust her. She's like the tribe of one, like a drum, not easy. I don't know I don't know. There's something going on. I'm not going on. Sure. Gary, I'm sure limiting beliefs are my biggest issue. Beautiful. And now, guys, I want to ask you, are they limiting beliefs or are they limiting thoughts? Elena, fantastic. Thoughts. So that's why I like having an egoic level, because you're going to say, oh, that's not a belief. That's a thought. Steve, they are not the same. The thoughts come from the mind. The egoic level, the spiritual level, the soul level is where the egoic level is where we have our identity and beliefs. So you might think that you're worthless, but then you're like, oh, I know that we are all equal, and I know that we're all worthy, and I know we're all amazing. That's your belief. So then you say, oh, thought, I see you and I feel you, but right now I am calibrating, no difference than going to the gym, to the belief that I am worthy. And you keep reprogramming, just like Stephanie said, I had to reprogram my beliefs. My own thoughts are what hold me back. Exactly. But until you recognize the difference between your beliefs and your thoughts, you can't. That's why I really think the egoic level is super, super, uber, duper, duper important. Because mostly when I push you all to saying what your beliefs are mostly empowering. But it's your thoughts that are disempowering. So I'm going to come back to asking Elena and Gary and Steve and whoever it is that was challenging it. That's fine. What are your beliefs? I'm just calling out the names that spoke to it, but I want all of you. Stephanie, what are your beliefs? I'm going to share what I believe and what is the whole inspiration behind everything I teach. We are purpose. We are unconditionally free. We are unconditionally worthy. We are unconditionally love. And I know we don't all feel it today and think it. But that's what we are calibrating to together in play, in fun, through these inspirations, meditations, through the groups. This is the play. Then limiting beliefs are not it, because I truly love everyone. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you truly love everyone, which means you truly love yourself. Because usually you project how you feel about others onto yourself. So you truly love yourself. So now we recognize, oh, it's my thoughts. It's my muscle. It's my mental focus muscle. Yesterday we had our talk about focus, right? No, yesterday. What day is it, guys? Sunday. It was Sunday. It was about focus. Today's Tuesday. It was about focus. And that means that your muscle, your mental muscle, just needs to be worked a bit to align with the truths of your beliefs, which beliefs is stronger than thoughts. The foundation of who we are beliefs. So and the more strong, this is speaking to you, Elena, all of you, but this is the stronger the foundation your beliefs are, the more you can leverage your thoughts when your thoughts are going awry. So if I've worked on settling really strong foundation of beliefs, and every day when things are good, I just work on my foundation of beliefs. I believe we're worthy. Things are great. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do that. The more you do it, that when you have an incident that challenges you, you can use that foundation that you built. And that's why it's really good to have your daily regime of treating and feeling yourself good. So when life happens, that foundation of beliefs are strong. Gary, I always get caught in negative thoughts. Fantastic. You might benefit, and I want to do an inspiration on that one, but you might benefit by, not quite yet though, because your mind is in control. You might benefit for once you get your emotions to sort of speak and to express itself freely, that your heart leads, not your mind. I need to donate because you hit a homer. What was the homer? You're so funny. So maybe it's your mind is leading. Allow your egoic beliefs to lead. That's why people that are truly surrendered religiously can bear whatever life has to bring them. Not the fear type of religion, but the true surrender and belief that God is there. Stephanie likes that. Build that strong foundation. Yeah, anytime I start to get lazy with my meditation, taking care, eating, I find I'm more easily shaken by what life naturally brings. And that's the point I want us all to know. Life is naturally going to bring things, guys. It's naturally going to bring things. There's death in life. We talked about that the other day. There's death in life. Life is naturally going to bring things. So, building up our capacity to be able to allow and trust and accept everything that life brings us is part of the journey. And that makes life taste better. And again, what is the whole point? The whole point is for this human physical experience to taste the best that it can. Good? Talk to me. Okay, there are and were so many things that weren't met, Manal. My life was brought up in lies. So I know this question. I have no mirror with that personally. Lots of brainwashing. Steve, I say to you every time, you had a childhood that is giving you a lot of work as an adult. Yes, you've had a childhood that's brought me to tears during our inspirations. And I said, every child deserves safety and security. And you were not provided with safety and security. But you are at a stage and an age where we can shift your life experience, how you see it, how you see life, how you engage with life. It's your opportunity now. It is. And so what we're going to keep doing is not what your life is making you feel and think and consume, the emotional part of it. Let's go straight to, oh, the worthiness, oh, the freedom, oh, the lack of love and happiness, and just keeping going to that till we calibrate to that more and more and more. So let's take it as the growing pains, and recognize that calibration to freedom and worthiness and love. You got me with that one? So what I want us to do is every time you think about the past, feel the emotion, go to the emotion, feel it, ask yourself, what did that make me feel like? What is that driving me towards? Recognizing the conditioning of life and letting it go. And I promise I won't cry. I didn't cry right now, but that's what your journey is. And you're teaching us. You're teaching us. We're all teaching each other in certain ways how to grow and calibrate in certain ways. All of our stories, because even though our stories are different, the impact on it emotionally is similar. So we're going to take this story and this story and this story and this story that are uniquely different, but the impact of it on it emotionally is similar. And then we grow from Steve, and we grow from Gary, and we grow from Stephanie, and we grow from Sporty Jen. We grow from each of us. Good? Okay, I see the hearts, and I see the landscapers have come. Yes, Steve, I keep saying every inspiration that Steve's got some great big energy that he's moving into. And one time I said, Steve, why are you here? And he said, I can feel the energy. So he knows the energy and feels the truth. So there is big energy that you're lining up with. Okay, these landscapers are coming, and Gary's running out of tears. Oh my goodness, today was a loud outdoor one more than usual. There was a lot of helicopters, and next door they're doing work, and now these guys, I'm sorry guys, I like sitting outdoors because I feel like it just gives me more energy than when I do them indoors. Okay, how are you all feeling? I think we talked a lot about time today. I think we talked about what I wanted to get at, which is the limiting beliefs and our limiting beliefs on time, and then and I like that we even went further about our limiting beliefs on life. Stephanie, my son always says, cry until it's all out. Release. Yeah, Stephanie, I love that. I absolutely love that. Let it all out. Let it all out. Whenever somebody cries and they start to suck it back, I'm like, guys, just let it all out. So how's everybody feeling? Steve is running dry. Gary, is running dry. Sporty Jen, thank you. She loves the trees. So Thursday, Steve, it's freedom. Me too, you're very nice. The trees are the bomb. Okay, fantastic. Usually it's not this noisy. Today I don't know why. Stephanie, who's a wise child at 10. Sporty Jen, it's funny because the energy that resists only makes me want to push further in. Fantastic. Fantastic. And just look at the energy that's resisting and just ask it, what are you resisting? I'm just trying to see you and get to know you and love you and love you and love you. Stephanie, wow, a great live. My mind is on Pop Rocks. Fantastic. Oh my God, I love that analogy. Fantastic. Gary, you're always awesome. Love you. I love you, Gary. I love you, and I love the growth I'm seeing in you. Thursday, who knows what Thursday is about? I don't know if Thursday is about dealing with other people's pain I don't remember, but Thursday I know there's a good one, but I can't, and I didn't write it down. I've been writing down because when it comes to it, I forget what it is, but I actually did. Yes, okay, perfect. So Sporty Jen, so Thursday is about working with other people's pain. If you have any suggestions for future meditations or inspirations or anything, put it in the comment box. Also, join Attaining Your Authentic Life. All of you newbies and anybody that's not in there, that's regulars, join the group. I remind of when live streams are going to be, and also we talk and have at-lib conversations about what we're feeling and what's going on. No simple, just like we do during these live streams. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I see the growth in every single one of you that have been coming. And actually, everybody that's been here, that's speaking, I have seen the growth. Carolina, I learned so much today. Fantastic. I love that. Fantastic. You're a beautiful soul, Manal. Thank you so much. My brain is digesting all this deliciousness. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so glad that you're here. Your cat makes me smile. I have 2 cats, and I absolutely adore them. Expectations topic. Steve, I love that. Yes. And I haven't created yet one for October for the one that you said about putting a cage around your heart. I'm excited about that one too. Sporty Jen, thanks Manal. I feel equipped. Gary, I suck other people's pain like a sponge. Yep, empathy. I really believe so much in compassion, not empathy or sympathy. So we will talk to that on Thursday. Stephanie, meow meow. A cat person? I've always thought I was a dog and cat person, but I adore my cats. Steve, me too. Empathy. Fantastic. Yeah, it's the empathetic ones that sponge it all up and take it and then can't feel anymore. But the whole point is empathetic ones work best when we can feel. We work best feeling. But because we've sucked up other people's and have not taken care of ourselves and not or repress our own feelings, we're not able to do our best work. So we need to get you guys back into compassionate empaths. And one of my favorite meditations, I always say that about my meditations, is about, it's an empath's meditation. And it talks to a lot of the limiting beliefs and thoughts about an empath and empowers empaths. So I would love for you guys, Gary and Steve, and everybody that considers themselves an empath to listen to that one. Sporty Jen, that is so true. Yes, empaths, there's too many limiting beliefs. I want to make empaths aligned with their inner power. And Gary says, Steve, you feel the pain. I want us to stop feeling the pain and send the love, because that's what we should be doing as empaths, sending love, not feeling pain. We've got it wrong. If we're empaths, it means that we're powerful. We have another dimension of feeling, and we need to do that for the goodness of others. But through the goodness of others, that's through love. Through love. Okay, guys, I'm feeling really, really, really complete, and this lawn guy is really driving me crazy. Back to the oxygen analogy again, Manal. Oh my goodness. I feel what they don't say, something like that. Yes, I'm such an empath. I am such an empath too. But I've shifted that to actually being loving and for people feeling my positive energy rather than me sucking up negative energy. So flip it. Everything's 2 sides. Everything has 2 sides, heads and tails. Flip it. Instead of us sucking up negative because we're empath, we emit positive. Let's create our own definition of what an empath is. Gary says he sees that in me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fantastic, Steve. We will see you Thursday. We will see you all Thursday. Today was magnificent. You are all amazing. You're all courageous. You're all powerful. You guys are all brilliant. You're all so unique. You're all beautiful. You all represent to me the beauty of humanity, the beauty of humans, of who we are and what we're meant to be. Stephanie, bam, let's do this. Shifting, currently in process. Fantastic. I love that. Okay, love you. I love you. I love you. I love you guys all. I feel fantastic. Fantastic. And I hope the same for all of you. We will be together on Thursday. And join Attaining Your Authentic Life. If you have any feelings afterwards or beforehand, go in there and just let it all out. And we're all in there just to love. Just to love. And that is all she wrote. My love to you all. My love. Always.